everybody, how's it going? It's Nate from Wild Space Outpost. Been a long time since I've done a video, so wanted to kind of do a little end of the year, start of the year wrap up, and talk about a couple things and show off a couple things, and just kind of say, hey, 2019 was maybe the craziest year of my life. I've been struggling a little bit with exactly how much to share or whatever, because I struggle between wanting to be professional and the fact that because of the nature of my work, I tend to become good friends with a lot of my clients. So I feel like I know a lot of you guys, and that maybe a bit more is warranted, but I'm going to kind of just try to ride the fence and not get into too much detail, but just know that it's been a year that's been both awesome in one hand and really a struggle in the other. So as most of you know, like I just recently moved this year, so those of you who have done that know how stressful that can be. This was one of those. I also had a lot of kind of family issues. Some of you know a lot about that. Those of you who are friends with me personally on Facebook are probably pretty aware of what was going on there. So that's continues to go on, and that's been a struggle, and just a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff has gone on. So it feels like my family and I are finally out of the worst of that. Like I said, some of the family issues still continue, but that's just the way it is. So, I'm really hoping that all of the hardships, all of the stuff that have taken big chunks of time away from me in the past year, it really like year plus, almost 18 months, stuff's been going on, that I can really kind of just buckle down and refocus and kind of get through this, which kind of brings me to my next point. So since I started doing saber work professionally, the business has gone really well, but kind of crazy in a lot of different directions. Because I've kind of been doing this for a while, not professionally per se, but I've been building sabers, since 2007 or so. I've amassed a lot of just trial and error knowledge and whatever, and I've made some good relationships. So that has kind of led me to be this kind of Swiss Army knife saber guy, where I get asked to do everything from very run-of-the-mill typical installs to insanity installs to repair work on other people's work or other company, like the bigger companies' work. Not saying anything negative there, just a lot of people don't want to send it back to said companies or whatever to get it fixed, and they'd rather just deal with a person. So I do a lot of repairs, a lot of installs, a lot of custom, full off customs. A lot of people want me to make empties, all of these things. When in reality, what I got into this to do was to build custom one-off sabers. I made a post about this not that long ago about how I kind of wanted to, how I was going to pull away from doing like retail installs. I'm still going to do that. I have taken a couple just on recommendations from other sabersmiths, but for the most part, I will not be doing a la carte installs moving forward. Really just trying to narrow my focus into building the one-offs so that I can get those out faster and of higher quality, and really just for my own mental sake, I feel another reason why I got into this was to kind of correct a lot of the things that I saw happening too often in the community, or just it's hard to classify, but I just didn't want to add into the problems. I wanted to try to fix the problems and whatever, and in doing so, I put myself in a bad spot to where I said yes, or yeah, I can help you, or sure, let me fix that for you, too many times, and got myself in a hole. So, like I said, now that the hardships are done and the move is done and everything is kind of settled down, the holidays are over, and we're fresh and clean in the new year, I'm going to be continuing to just dig out and get myself as caught up, or not as caught up, but just caught up, and then really focus on just making crazy, cool, unique one-off sabers. As a lot of you know, I do work with a couple of other smiths. I do a lot of the installs for Nick Cohen and Starfall Sabers, which I thoroughly enjoy doing. I love being able to be a part of that and his awesome company, and bring some of those really cool builds to life. I'm going to continue to do that as long as he'll have me. I also have a newer smith / company that I'm going to be doing some of their installs as well. So keep an eye out there. When I'm working on the first one right now, when that's finished, I'm going to do another video and show that off and kind of introduce my fans and clients and followers to his work as well, because he's making some good stuff. It's really cool. So keep an eye out for that. I want to still be able to do fun stuff that's fun for me. Like right before the move, I did a batch of the mystery sabers, which we're going to talk about at the end. But that kind of goes both ways. Like, I wanted to do that because it's fun for me and it's fun for you guys, and it's just kind of a cool, like, community involvement thing. But then I get into this thing where, like, I plan to do 3 and I end up making 5, which stretches me thin and whatever, which inevitably just makes things take longer, because I won't put out a inferior product just to meet deadlines or whatever. I would rather take the flack. I would rather give out refunds if I have to than put out an inferior product with my name on it. And it's just not something I want to do. Nobody's perfect. Of course, you know, like, some stuff is going to have issues or whatever. I stand behind my product. I fix every problem that is brought to me. I do so for free. And, you know, like, so, but that's another thing that needs to kind of go into consideration when time is concerned, is that a lot of times, you know, like, a quoted time takes into effect, well, this is how long it's going to take me to machine this and get everything just right, and then all that, and I kind of overlooked the fine detail work. A couple of these sabers I'm going to show off in a minute are good examples of that, where it was just, I'm going to add some more bones to the fire while I talk. Where I thought, you know, like, oh, I can get this done in X amount of days, or, you know, months, weeks, whatever. And then I literally spend like an entire day on one little section of one little part of a saber. And sometimes that one day is 3 days, and, you know, whatever it is, because I just want it to be right. I just want it to look like the picture in my head, you know, or the picture I drew for the client, or whatever it is. So, I guess it's just the kind of the artist bit of me. I have a hard time letting things go when they're good enough. I want them to be what I set out for them to be. Anyway, so yes, I am trugging along. When this video is posted, I'm going to post a few glam shot posts of some sabers I've built since the move, or finished since the move and shipped out. I just really have, I kind of pulled away from as much social media as I could to just kind of focus and get as much of this stuff done without distraction as I could. And I'm going to continue to do that. I'm not going to be around in the groups and stuff like that until I'm more caught up. And okay, sorry about that. I just literally went through that entire 20+ minute video to realize that my phone shut it off halfway through. So I'm going to try to pick up where I left off, and then I'll edit them together and it'll probably be crap. But anyway, so just to wrap up what I was saying before, I'm still going to be around. I'm not going to be as active in the groups until I'm caught up, but I will be around. I know that since the move, I've been a lot harder to get in touch with. I am in the middle of the woods in northern Michigan. I get 0 cell phone service where I'm at, and I'm on satellite internet with a data limit, which is usually eaten up by my daughter in less than a day. So I get snail's pace internet up until that point. It's probably going to take me until the morning to just get this video uploaded and posted after I edit it and everything, but I really hope not. But so a lot of times, like, I get it spotty, like if the weather's nice. Now that it's wintertime, there's not as many leaves on the trees. I get it a little bit more often. But Facebook Messenger really sucks with this. So both, and Page Manager is even worse. So I get my messages in like big clumps, and I do my best to try to respond in big clumps en masse whenever I get those. So I'm going to keep at it in that. In the near future, I'm having a cell phone booster installed, so that'll up my my cell phone internet. So that should kind of even out my coverage and make it better. I'm constantly searching for better internet providers, but where I'm at, there's just not a lot of options. It's satellite or nothing, pretty much. So yay. Anyway, so I apologize for that, but I'm going to do my best to get back in the groove of that. And as I finish more and more of this stuff, I'll have more time to devote to that stuff, and I'll start becoming more present and whatever. So in that vein, I just kind of wanted to show off a couple projects that it's taken me a very long time to finish. This one, for instance, was a saber commissioned by somebody off my website, which doesn't usually happen. Usually it's always Facebook. But after we talked for a while over email and whatever, he ended up sending me a few pneumatic screwdrivers and drivers to use, and asked me to convert them into a unique saber form. So I ended up using the 2 he sent me and one of my own. And I machined a few bits here and used some salvage off of some other builds. This bottom half hilt section is from a Dark Lord. But yeah, you see this bottom grip is removable. You have your recharge port access there and some greeblies. This middle light is a battery meter indicator, and then there's a window here too that has some cool light features. So this one is a Profi 2.2 running the SA22 fork on the 2.9. I believe there's about, I think there's 15 fonts on this one, all with unique blade styles. A few have the color change option as well. As you can see. But yeah, so that one took me way too long, but I'm super happy with how it came out. Very unique and cool, lots of original trilogy vibes on that one. Very pleased with that. which leads me to one of my next longest ones. This is, I don't know, this one might be up there with being considered masterpiece level for me. Sure, there's things I can do better. I will evolve from this, but at the time of commissioning and at the time of completion, this indicates some of the most advanced stuff that I personally know how to do. This one runs CFX. It has a complete one-piece brass machined core. The upper part stays assembled. It has a dual crystal chamber. The switches and everything in the bottom half is threaded and removable. These are the first working threads I've ever cut, and the last working threads I will ever cut on the current machine that I have, because I broke my machine doing these threads. Mainly the gears. It's a long story, but mainly my machine is hardwired now for turning, not for cutting threads anymore. So, but yeah, you can see here the CFX where it lives inside there. Some extra greeblies around there to make that look cool. This one has some genuine Stingray skin embedded in the leather here. Cut throughs to see that. You get the window where the board lives there that you can see with the internal glow. There's a uranium doped cracked sphere inside there as the primary crystal, and then a quartz up top as a secondary crystal, focusing crystal if you will. This one has CFX, full smooth swing package, none of the stock fonts, all smooth swing. This one also has the spectrum color change in every font and 16 presets, but mainly it's just the construction of it. I spent so much time on so many little things. The brass core got remade twice because it was just me doing a bunch of stuff that I had never done before. So I know it wasn't always fun for the client who this belongs to. I apologize for the delays, but I really hope you're happy with it. I am happy with it, and so I hope it finds a good home in your collection for a very long time. Moving on. So this is my personal prototype of a saber design that I worked on for a client that ended up becoming it's going to be a long-running design. It is my TSL specifically designed fighting saber. These are stunts, and they have no switches. They work on just a kill key plug, and you know, like one of the crazy cool things that happened to me this year was that I joined the Saber Legion as a fighter, and hopefully waiting on word on that, but hopefully a sponsor as well. So in my practicing, I just wanted something different than what I had. I made a super slim TSL saber that's up there on my shelf somewhere, kind of more of a katana style with flattened sides, and I liked it. But it's just something else I needed. It's something I was missing, and so I designed this to kind of have. It's got dual tapered grips that are both flattened on the sides, katana style as well. I really wanted it to be kind of like a more Eastern European style sword, two-handed bastard style sword, with the diamond Tsuba. Since we can't do, you know, like non-lit quillions in TSL, I wanted kind of a unique Tsuba design. So this still guards your hand nicely, but it does kind of reduce the overall surface area, and it just adds a little cool look to it as well. The one on this one is brass, which is not TSL legal for tournament fighting, but all the ones for sale have an aluminum Tsuba. and etching. I do all the etching, everything in hand. This one has ostrich leg leather wraps that are hand stitched. Everything is machined, installed, etched, wrapped, stitched, everything in house. I'm actually using these as a good format to slowly start getting my wife involved in not only the finished work, but eventually the machining and everything of the sabers as well. So those are really awesome. I've released those already for TSL members inside the TSL page. I will be doing a release for them on my actual page, but they are available on my website right now if you don't want to wait for that release. If you are interested in getting one, they do have a much quicker turnaround time than a full custom saber because they're stunts and it's a set design that I've gotten down. I can knock them out pretty quick. So yeah, you can go there and check that out. wildspaceoutpost.com. The link for it, whatever, is right on the homepage, so you'll see it. So lastly, as far as sabers are concerned, I want to talk mystery sabers for a minute. So when I started this batch of mystery sabers, I was cleaning out my shop and packing it up, getting ready to move. I still had a couple weeks before the move, and what I wanted to do was take these few bits of scrap metal that I found laying around that happened to be saber length, and just take those, turn them down real quick, and make a couple, 3 mystery sabers. I was going to make them all pretty similar, but with unique touches and all that stuff. And when I made that post, I got such a response to it, it was crazy. If I wanted to, I probably could have sold about 20 of those things. I don't know if it was just the timing or what, but I mean, man, it was mind-blowing. I was nonstop with the messages for those. So like I said, I wanted to do 3. I ended up taking on 5. And like I said, I turned down probably 11 more that I just couldn't. I thought 5 was stretching it, and honestly, it kind of is. But I wanted to have those done right after the move. Like, my plan was to machine them in the old shop, and then when we moved, but while I was waiting for the machines to get reset up and recalibrated and all that stuff, I could be doing the installs on these and then have them done real quick, and kind of keep me working through the move and transition, but nothing too stressful. That didn't work out. Like I said in the earlier part, when I have a real hard time letting things go when they're good enough. So I ended up making completely unique. Every one of them is completely different. No 2 are similar in any way. They're very cool. I'm gonna have a very hard time. I don't know. I did not make them with anyone in mind. I made sabers that I thought were cool, that I wanted to make, and it's gonna make my job harder when I have to decide who gets whose. I think I've got most of them narrowed down, but they are in this box. They are not done, but all the hard stuff is done. All the machining is done. All the pieces are done. All that's left is to weather them and add the finishes, whether they get paint or whatever it is, depending on the saber, greedleys, stuff like that, and just get everything final assembled and installed. All of these were made to take my awesome 3D printed chassis that Will at Divinium Customs has designed for me. I'll show one of those off next time. But they're super cool, all-in-one chassis, no frills or nothing, but just exactly what I needed for the builds that I do, so that I don't have to spend another couple of days designing and machining Delrin chassis specific for each saber. I still do that when the saber calls for it, but for the most part, I needed something that I could get done a little quicker. Let the printers do the work, and then all I have to do is slap it in. So I'm hoping to have all of these done I set myself a 2-week deadline. I know I've given different dates as we've gone on, and every time I do that, something happens. So I set myself the deadline for 2 more weeks. Realistically, they will all for sure be done by the end of January. All I have to do is the installs, but like I said, I'm not going to cut corners. I'm not saying that all of these installs are going to go super smooth and there won't be any issues in board programming or any of that stuff. So that I'm just, all goes well, 2 weeks, worst case scenario, end of January. I'm not going to show them. I'll give you a peek. There you go. There's a lot of different cool stuff in here, but that's it. The reason why is because, like I said, it was a fire sale. When I announced that I was doing that, I sold all of these within minutes of each other. So it's not fair to me to release them one at a time or to finish somebody's before somebody else's. They're all going to be finished. They're all going to be released together. I will do another one of these vids just about Mystery Sabers. We will unveil all of them. I will let everybody who ordered one know whose is whose at that moment, and they'll be coming. So look forward to that in the next couple of weeks. All I can say is, if any of you don't want them, I will gladly keep them. There's not a single one that I don't like and wouldn't keep as my personal saber. So I'm happy. I hope you guys will be too. I think they're pretty cool. Let me see. I think that's about it. So just quickly to sum up, I thank every single one of you guys. I literally wouldn't even be close to where I'm at if it wasn't for the awesome word of mouth I get from you guys, both clients and potential clients in the future and friends. Like I said before, I'm very lucky that I consider almost every client I've ever had is a friend of mine now. So it just makes it so much more fun to do, so much less stressful to work for people that I like and that I enjoy working with and for, and I hope to continue to do so until I can't move my fingers anymore. So just in summation, I'm not going anywhere. I'm gonna be here, like I said, until I can't do the job anymore. There's nothing else I like more than what I'm doing right now, so I'm only gonna try and get better at it. Really focus in on the stuff that I enjoy, so that you're getting me at my happiest, both in my work, in my communications, and in everything else. I see good things coming. I think the worst is gone, and I really just want to take 2020 to start fresh and refocus and really put out some crazy stuff for you guys. So thanks again. I love you all, and may the force be with you.